everyone, welcome back to another video. I have a magazine as promised. Some of you have requested that. This is actually from my University of Law, and it's an older magazine from 2019, issue 4, and we're just gonna go through that. I'll just be reading out some stuff and flicking pages. So yeah, let's begin. It says the magazine is called A Verdict because obviously it's a law school. So A Verdict, the inside track for law students, careers special, a human rights, a legal world full of opportunity. Inside it's got this feature, Dream Big. It says our alumni did, and they've made it to firms like Facebook, go on to do great things with our range of undergraduate and postgraduate law courses and professional development courses for trainee solicitors or qualified lawyers. And then here it says our LLB 92% secured employment or further study. Our LBC, that's me, 97% secured employment or further study. And then on this side, got Chapter 4, The Times. Chapter 5, Welcome. Chapter 6, Corporate Law. 10, Human Rights. 13, Criminal Law. 16, Employment Law. Oh, not chapter. Page, I think. Is it? Yeah, pages, not chapters. It's a magazine. You can tell I've been reading too many law books. Then it says competition law, personal injury, after law, 10 ways to be the ultimate generation's law student, family law, media law, sports law. Survey 2019. It says 60% of undergraduates are living at home during their studies. Me too. Aspiring barristers are more interested in 34% crime, 20% human rights, 11% family law. And that makes sense because with crime you're going to get more litigation. So nearly 60% think a potential employer should be able to check job applicants' social media profiles. 40% very likely to practice outside the UK at some point. That would be me too. Most admired international leader was voted Justin Trudeau. That's surprising. Fictional law character most aspired to be is Harvey Specter. Most admired UK politician is Sadiq Khan. Are pay rates fair? 64% aspiring solicitors say yes. 53% aspiring barristers say yes. 50% does the legal profession offer good work-life balance? Most important quality in a lawyer? Integrity. Then we have this lovely photo, picture, corporate law buildings, high rises in London, dealmakers serving the rainmakers. And the photo is taken by Connor James McKinney. There's this article featuring David Carter. He's a partner at Ashurst, and he touched bases on pay, high-profile corporate lawyers, key elements of the job, how to get the foot into the door. And then it also says if you are interested in corporate law, you may also be interested in competition law, employment law, sport law. This is the human rights section. Frances Swain, she's a managing partner at Lee Day. And then she's quoted a lot of it was sexual abuse. They had the opportunity to put in front of our government what had occurred. I was very proud when I heard the findings. There's criminal law acts. Guardians of Scales of Justice, also by Conor McKinney. And then this is featuring Chris Dorr. He's a QC Lincoln House and Surgeons in Chambers. He's a Queen's Counsel barrister. And he says, if you're bright, ambitious, hardworking and passionately committed to your career at the criminal bar, it's there for you. Then it says, if you are interested in criminal law, you may also be interested in family law, human rights law, personal injury law. This employment section, and featuring Shalina Crossley. She's a partner at Lewis Ilking. She said, we all spend such a large proportion of our time in the office, so if something's not right at work, it affects people quite profoundly. Protecting the employer and the employee. Cutting the monopolies down to size. Competition law. I like that. My focus for Masters is international commercial, so it includes competition. And then we've got James Webber. He's an antitrust partner at Sherman and Sterling. And he says, it's one of the key ingredients in making capitalist market economy work in a way that's tolerably fair. The story behind the picture. Lady Hale. They're all famous. Lady Arden and Lady Black. Judges. I've read about their judgments. Okay. History makers. The Supreme Court, the UK's highest court, saw a majority female bench hear a case for the first time in 600 years. In October 2018, 3 female and 2 male Supreme Court judges ruled on a case concerning the deprivation of liberty of a 16-year-old boy with Asperger's syndrome and learning difficulties. The case was presided over by Supreme Court President Lady Hale, Lady Arden, Lady Black, and Lords Carnworth and Lloyd Jones. The ladyships. Family law section. From heart-wrenching to high net worth, never wanted to go into family law. Just to give you a bit of a background, when I was in law school during my LLB, I took I chose a family law course just as a extra. After 2 weeks, I was like, I'm done. And then after 2 weeks, I switched out of that class for a commercial. Then we've got Anne-Marie Hutchinson. She's a partner at Dawson Cornwell. She says, what's the worst thing that can happen in a commercial employment case? You lose some money. In a family case, you can lose your kids. It's too emotional for me. It's so high tension, so I didn't ever want to do that. And it says, if you're interested in family law, you may also be interested in criminal law, human rights law, personal injury law. Then we've got media law, the glitz and the glam. Then we've got Nicola Kane. She's a partner at RBC. And she says, you do get a buzz from doing things that are interesting and high profile, things that other people are reading about. And it says, if you are interested in media law, you may also be interested in competition law, corporate law, sports law. We've got sports. Photo here. And then we've got Adam Morali, founding partner at Brandsmiths. And then he says, Mo was being accused a drug cheat. Roberto Carlos was accused of injecting his thighs to make them bigger. We sued everybody and we won. Wow. So says, if you are interested in sports law, you may also be interested in competition law, corporate law, media law. Then it says, giving something back. Injury. I've done some injury while I was working at the firm, but it's not something I'm like crazy passionate about. And here's Andrew Clark. He's the director of personal injury at Fletcher's Solicitors. And he says, I really feel as though I can give something back to them. It's amazing what kind of a buzz you can get from that. Then it says, if you are interested in personal injury, you may also be interested in criminal law, family law, human rights law. Study law. The world is your oyster. First a law degree, then business startups, politics, journalism, Hollywood. I hear the stories and often I can make a difference. There again, I can see how my work as a barrister helps me with my work as an MP. That's what Suella Braverman is, MP for Fareham. And then I would encourage people to consider the breadth of careers available to them given the skill set they've acquired in the law. That's quoted Alex Dean, Senior Managing Director at FTI Consulting. Then, the learning curve was incredibly steep. You make an insane number of mistakes, but in starting a business, the biggest thing is just to keep going. That's Pete Dowds, co-founder and CEO of Elder HQ. Then my advice is, if you feel a drive to do something, then do it. Do work experience, find out as much as you can and be determined. That's Noreen Barr, Executive Editor of Features at Press Association. The 10 Ways to be the Ultimate Generation Z Law Student. I'm a millennial, so I went back to uni, so obviously this whole section doesn't apply to me. It says, what do you mean you're not a vegan vlogging influencer who's obsessed with coffee, Lady Hill? You've got a page of memes.